Folks, I got a short and sweet slideshow for you today. We're focusing on car culture in the first part, and then the last part of the week, we're doing a little bit with gaming culture. And mostly our theme is the beginnings of the invention of Cool Japan. And we're going to try to give you a 1 week deep dive as possible into the history of manufacturing some of the products that we love and enjoy, including Ford, Toyota, and Nintendo. And I want to make sure we know that Ford is the company run by Henry Ford in the beginning, and he is the person that coined the term mass production. Because one amazing thing about consumer goods is how many there are. It's amazing when you think about how many Toyotas there are, how many computers there are. How did we possibly develop an industrial capacity and the speed to produce all of these things? So you'll learn more about that this week, starting with today, and we will think about those themes. We will especially think about, for the first couple of days, how did Japan become such a major player in the car manufacturing market? Detroit was #1 for a long time. Detroit, Flint, Saginaw, places in Michigan that had very large car factories. So how in the world did Toyota overtake such an established car company like Ford, to the point where if you're driving a Ford now, it's probably a truck? There aren't many Ford cars produced for the domestic market in the USA anymore. So let's dive a little deeper into this interesting story. As we start our dive, I want to give us a sneak preview of our slideshow 1 assignment that's due not this week, but July 20th. For that slideshow, I'd like for you to do 2 to 4 slides with narration on embracing defeat, 2 to 4 slides on this week's topic, from mass production to lean production and car culture, and then you'll have a few more slides to make where you'll have some additional choices. But as you go through this content, think about the 2 to 4 slides you want to produce with narration that really tells the story of lean production, the more Japanese styled manufacturing and engineering. So amazingly enough, you will know enough about engineering and car manufacturing at the end of, I think, the end of Thursday's reading, that you'll be able to prepare 2 to 4 slides with narration related to the process of manufacturing lean, which is the advantage that Toyota quickly gained in the middle of the 20th century over Ford. Hey, it's me again. I just want to also show you the readings for this week and a little bit about the themes of those readings. So you can read at a fast pace or a slow pace. I do think these are important pieces of information to know, just because there are so many manufactured products around us. And I think most of the time we don't give them a second thought. How many products are there at Menards or Target or down the street at your grocery store? And it's the same thing city by city as you drive across the United States or any developed country. So these readings will give you a little bit behind the scenes on how did we come up with ways of making so many products. The secret is mass production. The first part of this reading talks about artisan production, which is the ways that you used to make cars one at a time, and you could custom order your car with the colors and the different designs that you might want. The problem is making cars one at a time isn't very efficient. It would take a very long time to make 10 cars. So it was a new philosophy of labor and materials management that Henry Ford brought into the practice of making cars. And there's a video and a short reading this week talking about Henry Ford and his method of production. It's kind of a medium-length reading. And then we go over to Japan and we meet Eli Toyota and the ways that he started doing things a little differently, looking at Ford's assembly line and thinking about how he could improve on it. How could he improve on the supply chain management? How could he improve on the quality of each built car? So I think we have that assumption. I heard it a little bit in the videos that many cars manufactured in Japan have attention to detail and a quality that sometimes is not present in other national models. So we'll learn a little bit about how this is done by looking at various innovations on the production line. Also by including workers in the decision making when it came to looking for flaws when your cars come across the line. The employees at Toyota were much more empowered to stop the line if there was a flaw found on one model so that you wouldn't produce a lot of that model with the same flaw. Imagine that. So these are readings that I hope you will enjoy. It's a little bit of engineering history, a little bit of business history, but I think they're also readable for your average person that's not a specialist. So please enjoy these. Great news, everyone. This is the last slide. We're going to use YouTube videos this week to give you some more background about the topics of car culture. So we will see Fordism 1920s USA, and this is a 13-minute video, and it introduces you to Henry Ford, who became a business tycoon at a time when business tycoons were starting to make their move in America into public figures that people even trusted to enter politics. And then we're going to see a 17-minute video on the rise of Toyota. And finally, our last day on Friday, what we have scheduled is to learn a little bit about Nintendo Company. So I wanted us to think about how cool Japan reinvents play and how did Nintendo have a part in that. So once we get to week 6, we'll be deeply into the pop culture side. This week, we're slowly moving from knowing something about the manufacturing history behind the largest car companies all the way to thinking about Nintendo's rise to global significance. That's what I have this week. No assignments due, just some reading and some viewing. So I hope it's a good, relaxed week for you. I hope you enjoy and learn from this content. Read it lightly and enjoy. We'll see you for week 6.